Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, welcome to my brand new YouTube video. My name is Mia and I am so grateful to be here today with a brand new topic, a topic I've been meaning to share about for a while, a topic that I wish everyone could talk about more. It is the will to live. How do you find the will to live, to just keep on keeping on, even when life throws us these things that it feels like psychically, mentally, emotionally, we just can't handle? How do we find the will to live, to get up every single day despite our feelings? So let's unravel this topic. Let's get into it. Now there's two main areas of focus that I want to focus on within this video. The first main area of focus is the scientific side of this that I discovered through the Andrew Huberman podcast. So shout out to Andrew Huberman. He really helped me a lot. And this one scientist he had on, don't quote me, totally forget what scientist said this, but we're going to get into that first, the science-y stuff. And then the second part of the video, I want to focus on what has specifically helped me as a survivor, not a victim, but a survivor of all of the crap that I've went through in my life, including debilitating states of depression. I had a horrible debilitating state of depression when I was 23 years young. I also had a pretty bad debilitating state of depression about 4 years ago during all of the COVID stuff. I'm sure I'm not alone. I was not alone. I mean, man, did we go through a huge mental health crisis in this country. And in my personal opinion, it's still going on. So how do I find the will to live? So let's start off with the science-y stuff. Highly recommend looking into Andrew Huberman and his research on mental health, specifically when it comes to the anterior mid-cingulate cortex. Something I had never heard of before in my entire life. I'll say that again. Anterior mid-cingulate cortex. This is a specific area of the brain that they have found that's in relation to resilience, basically resilience and inner strength. And basically this area of the brain is small in obese people, and for average regular day people who are, again, of average weight or maybe a little bit overweight, they notice that area growing specifically every single time that person did something that they did not want to do, did something that was really, really hard. So there's actually an area of the brain that denotes or represents inner strength and the will to live. Isn't that freaking cool? Again, it's called anterior mid-cingulate cortex, and it made me sad to hear this specific area of the brain is smaller in obese people. But again, it would make sense if it has to do with the will to live and inner strength and resilience. It makes sense. So may that inspire you to continue to do things that are outside of your comfort zone, to do things that you don't necessarily want to do. Maybe talk to that stranger, maybe go to the gym every single day. If you're used to going to the gym 2 times a week, maybe going to the gym every single day. And the best example for something like this, in fact, now I'm remembering, I'm pretty sure it's when Andrew Huberman had talked to David Goggins. That's where I found out this information. Andrew Huberman, David Goggins, Google it, YouTube it, look into it. Such an inspiring podcast. But David Goggins is a prime example of someone whose anterior mid-cingulate cortex is so huge because David Goggins every single day refuses to be comfortable. He's a millionaire and he doesn't even drive a car. He refuses to have a car. He literally runs to the airport. When he says out loud, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go run to the airport, he is literally running to the airport. So David Goggins is definitely a personal hero of mine. I also really love Andrew Huberman and all that I've learned from them. So again, may that inspire you to get outside your comfort zone, to grow that area of your brain. And now I want to wrap it up and I want to share, how have I been able to cultivate the will to live after all of the crazy crap? And no, I'm not here to trauma dump. I'm not going to completely trauma dump on you, but I've been through some crazy crap in my life, specifically from the ages of, I'm in my mid-30s now, but when I was from like between the ages of 30 to 31, kind of like 32, like my early 30s, Those were the hardest years of my life, the hardest lessons I had ever faced. I went through so much stuff, and again, I'm not here to trauma dump, but I'm here to share that yes, I did go through EMDR therapy last year, and when I signed up for EMDR therapy and I started briefly sharing a couple of the stories that I went through between the ages of 30 and 32, that therapist, that EMDR therapist, literally asked me if I was suicidal. Like, she was worried about working with me. She was worried about me, period, because of all of the stuff, all of the horror stories I'd share, all of the traumas. So you know it's pretty serious when your EMDR therapist is like, whoa, because this is her living. This is what she deals with on a regular basis. And the stories I shared with her, like I said, again, not meaning to be a huge victim here, but it shocked my therapist, the stuff that I had survived, the stuff that I went through. So that being said, I'm able to be more at peace with it. Like, yes, I've been through some stuff because I did go to EMDR therapy. And so let's get into, how do I find the will to live? Well, most recently, and thank goodness, again, knock on wood, I am not depressed right now. I survived this winter. I did not have seasonal depression because I am keeping my job. I'm not quitting my job. I work part-time at a grocery store. I work super hard. I am also an artist on the side. I do poetry. Sometimes I go to open mics. Sometimes I pose. I strike a pose for artists and they draw, they paint, they sculpt my form. And I stay connected with community. I also single-handedly built a yoga community in my hometown. So I'm always doing things, staying active. I also go to recovery circles. I try to go to a recovery group at least once per week, whether that's CODA or AA. I'm constantly surrounding myself with people in recovery. I feel like the most important thing that helped me through this winter and helped me avoid seasonal depression, honestly, has been boxing. I haven't missed a single week of boxing in like the last 2 months at least, and boxing is totally outside of my comfort zone. I like to be soft. I like to be demure. I like to be in my comfort zone and like on my yoga mat and like just breathe and everything's gonna be sunshine and rainbows. But when I got the energy of David Goggins in my life and I understood this podcast with David Goggins and Andrew Huberman, I was able to wrap my mind around it intellectually. I understood, oh, maybe that's why I'm so dissatisfied in a lot of areas of my life. Because I'm not pushing beyond my comfort zone. I'm not inviting that growth. I'm not inviting that resilience. I'm not growing my anterior mid-cingulate cortex because I'm always doing things that I like. So that is how I've cultivated the will to live. I go towards things that make me uncomfortable. I go towards things that I don't like. Even when I revealed right now I work part-time in a grocery store, that is a hard job. And I don't necessarily want to show up every single day to my job. And what have we been forced to believe? Like our whole lives, what's been shoved down our throats. Oh, do what you love. It'll make work a lot easier. Do what you love. Follow your dreams. Do what you love. Yeah, technically, that's great. I hope you don't plateau. I hope it doesn't get boring at some point, but it's very like surface level as to the actual solution because like I said, if you're not growing that anterior mid-cingulate cortex, if you're not growing that, then your will to live like kind of shrinks and your resilience and your inner strength shrinks. So when people tell you like, oh, do what you love, follow your heart, follow your dreams, I want y'all to keep this in mind. If you actually do what you hate and you show up every single day and you do it anyway, I'll say it again, you're developing that part of your brain that is directly associated and connected to the will to live, and it's connected to inner strength. So just another reminder to don't always listen to everything everyone tells you. Don't listen to society. Don't listen to blah, 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 telling you to follow your dreams. Can you listen to yourself? Can you listen to your heart? Can you listen to your soul? And I know that I always did things that I liked. I was always in my comfort zone. I was always doing yoga. I was always doing art. And again, these things aren't bad. They're healing for the planet. I'm grateful that I had so many professional years of doing art and doing yoga, but I did realize that I was always doing things that I liked. So may we continue to develop the strength and the bravery to do things that we don't like so we can grow. Once again, let's say it together, the anterior mid-cingulate cortex. I hope this video was super inspiring. Please check out that podcast with Andrew Huberman and David Goggins. May you have a beautiful day or night wherever you're at. Mwah!